Hello world, welcome back to RAZORRC. I finally finished my build of the brand new Team Associated B6.3 two-wheel drive electric 10th scale race buggy, and just want to share my thoughts as well as talk about the actual parts I put into my vehicle. First off, the body is exactly the same as the B6.2, so I am just reusing the B6.2 body. Just put on a little B6.3 sticker as well as a little Whitz Racing and Jen's Ace sticker there on the body. I do like that paint scheme, so just decided to reuse that since it was in good shape. But the buggy itself, I'll kind of go through what I'm actually running. I will put down links to all these parts that I'm using, so if you want to run the same components I'm running, you can go ahead and do that. I kind of aim for kind of a mid-range type build. I don't like to spend a whole ton of money, but I do like stuff that is reasonably competitive. So I think this stuff is certainly good enough, at least for the club racing level, and will suit most people just fine. So electronics wise, I'm running a Savox 1267 SG Black Edition servo up front. I do like Savox servos for a little bit more on the budget side, but still reasonable performance. I'm running aluminum servo horn for the B6 series, and then I did space it out 1 millimeter there with that little ball stud washer you can see right there, just to kind of keep this link a little more at a 90-degree angle like I think it should be run. ESC wise, I'm running a Hobbywing XR10 stock spec. It's an 80 amp ESC, a lot of tunability, certainly good for stock type classes, not so good really for mod because it just doesn't supply enough amps for 17.5 turn motors. Plenty of power, and then power wise, I'm running the Team Power's Actinium V4.0 motor. Very fast motors, a little bit more on the pricey side, but they're the fastest motors I've ever ran, and the V4 just came out I think maybe a month ago or so, so super excited about getting a chance to run that. Jen's Ace battery, a 6,000 milliamp hour 130C battery, so very fast battery, tons of power. A little racing fan there on the side, and then I'm running an ARX482 receiver, so basically a clone of a Salmon receiver, and then finally a Mylaps 2-wire transponder. The only other option parts I'm running are a Jconcepts steel hinge pin brace up here on the front, so it adds a little more weight, adds a little more durability. This thing is pretty close to minimum weight, so certainly worth adding weight down low. And then finally, I'm running a slipper eliminator there on the back for 17.5. I do like running slipper eliminators. Gives you a little more speed, a little more acceleration, not so much rotating mass, of course. Gearing wise, I'm running a 28 tooth pinion gear from TLR, and then the stock, I think, 72 tooth spur gear. Now, the build itself went together pretty well, very similar to all the other Team Associated B6 buggies, so if you built those before, this will pretty much build the same. There were a few little issues, and I'll kind of cover that. Nothing major, but just some things to look out for. First off, the shocks. They kind of forget to tell you to put another spacer in here, so they say, basically spacer, X-ring, spacer, X-ring. There's supposed to be another spacer here on the bottom, same as the top. You just kind of flip it over so it points down. So one little error there in the manual that I found. The other thing is it comes with this little addendum, so for the B6.3, kind of tells you about this front hinge pin brace. I think they forgot to put that in the manual, so yeah, don't forget to use that little steel hinge pin brace, or you may find your arms kind of sliding around a little bit. Yeah, that was pretty much it. Oh yeah, the other thing I did was pick up a set of Whitz Racing Hyperglide bearings, so you do have this brand new set for the B6.3, B6.3D. Super smooth bearings. We do have a 20% off coupon code, so I do recommend running this if you're running any sort of spec class. Pretty affordable with that 20% off. It is like $52, which I think is really, really inexpensive for a full set of ceramic bearings, so definitely worth checking that out. In terms of other problems with the build, front steering blocks, as per all the other Team Associated two-wheel drives, pretty much they're not like completely parallel. You do need to follow them down a little bit. I end up kind of following down the bottom, try to make it like parallel with the top, or you get like way too much binding here in your steering. It won't be smooth at all. It will actually be very, very tight. So you definitely want to check that. And then the transmission, this little 3-piece transmission makes it really nice to service the diff, but it is a little bit on the rough side. Some people like to put in the aluminum diff risers here in the back, little spacers to razor lower your diffs. I'm still running the stock plastic ones, but I do think the aluminum ones make it a little bit better. They just fit a little bit more tightly, more correctly within that transmission, and provides a little more smoothness. So yeah, that was pretty much it in terms of issues with the build. You know, definitely don't forget those shocks in the shock spacers and stuff like that. I'm running this thing completely kit build, even down to the 16mm ride height, so we'll see how that actually runs. Super excited about getting a chance to take this out to the track, and we'll see how it performs. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the B6.3. Overall, a really good buggy, certainly one of the most competitive buggies out there on the market, and well worth checking out. And I'm gonna go take this out to the track and see how it performs. Definitely hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons. Look for more videos soon, and thanks for watching.